Hey everybody, Steve back with another video. One of the things I remember growing up was looking forward. One of the things I always looked forward to was going to the movies. My dad would take me and my older brother to go to the movies. Sometimes my mom would go and we'd make it a family thing. Sometimes my dad would just take me or take my brother or take me and my brother. And I always have, well, I don't always have the memories, but I have memories going back to a very young age. I remember going to see movies at the drive-in. I remember falling asleep on the car ride home. I remember it being an event. I remember it being a plan, going to the movies and getting the popcorn and getting to see, it just was a special event. And one of the movies that sticks out to me that we went to as a family, and I'm taking it back old school, and that's 1984's Tank. This isn't a movie I see talked about a lot. When I mention this to folks, not too many people remember this movie or have ever heard of it. It came out March 16th, 1984. It had a runtime of just shy of 2 hours. It's directed by a guy by the name of Marvin J. Chomsky, I think is how you say his name. And it was filmed in Georgia. It had a budget of about $6 million and just about double that, bringing in just a little over $11 million. It follows a sergeant major who, the unique thing about him is he actually personally owns a vintage World War II era Sherman tank. And what happens is he gets a news station and he kind of runs afoul of a local deputy sheriff at a bar who starts manhandling a local lady, waitress. I'm not really sure. I can't really remember what her profession was, but he gets a little handsy with her, and the sergeant major basically teaches him that you don't put your hands on women. He didn't really care that he was a deputy sheriff. The deputy sheriff goes to the corrupt sheriff. The sheriff gives him a hard time, and they figure out this plan, and they basically frame the sergeant major's son. They plant some drugs on him and get him locked up, and end up putting him on a work farm. And Sergeant Major has had just about enough, and he decides to take his tank and he's going to bust them out of this work farm. And it's just about their misadventures of them trying to cross the state line into Tennessee in order to get a fair hearing and get heard and stuff like that. James Garner stars as Sergeant Major Zach Carey. Excellent role. James Garner needs no introduction. His filmography is extensive. Shirley Jones portrays his wife, LaDonna. Of course, we remember her from musicals such as Oklahoma, The Music Man. Of course, she starred in the Partridge Family TV show. And probably the most recent thing I remember her from is Grandma's Boy. C. Thomas Howell actually stars as their son, Billy, the one who's framed and who Sergeant Major Carey ends up breaking out eventually. Of course, he knows no introduction. Tank was actually his third motion picture role after E.T. and The Outsiders. He starred in Tank actually the same year as he did Red Dawn in 1984, another movie that I remember my dad taking me and my brother to go see. He went on to star in The Hitcher, Side Out. He was in the new Creepshow series on Shudder. And most recently, I saw him starring as the EOD tech on a show on Netflix called Obliterated. G.D. Spradlin, I don't really know a whole lot that he's been in, but you'll recognize him when you watch the movie. Stars as the corrupt sheriff. There's a very interesting conversation that he has with the commanding general on post about Posse Comitatus. If you know, you know. He starred in Apocalypse Now, The Lords of Discipline, as well as The Long Kiss Goodnight. James Cromwell portrays Deputy Baker. Of course, he knows no introduction, extensive filmography. Jenny Lee Harrison, stars as Sarah, the girl that Deputy Baker gets a little handsy with in the bar that Sergeant Major Carey then has to intervene. She actually had a role on Three's Company as Cindy, as well as a recurring role as Jamie Ewing on the TV show Dallas. Several other people, again, are in the movie that you'll recognize. You have Sandy Ward, Dorian Harwood, as well as John Hancock, all people that you would recognize. You may not necessarily know what they starred in, but you'll recognize them when you see them. So, that being said, does anybody else remember Tank? Am I the only one? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you as old as me and remember seeing it at the theater? So let me know down in the comments. If you would, give me a like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.